You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our featured presentation.
I'm the man, and the man feels no pressure. I am the man that everyone fears.
You are now entering the vicious circle.
You are facing a fuel-injected suicide machine!
I'm the man. When I walk, the ground shakes. I am the master. I am the ruler of the world. They have been waiting below the surface. Shake the earth beneath the giants. Shake the earth beneath the giants.
Welcome to the vicious circle. Sid Bud, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm a little wore out, to be honest. I'm a little wore out. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm good. What's got you going?
Well, I'm just getting up so much earlier, and I had 1,000 things to do today, and then you can hear it too. I'm just so congested. I can barely breathe. I'm taking the 2 types of nasal things, sprays. I'm taking hydroxyzine or something that's to dry you up, and I still can't hear out of my darn left ear. So it's just been a tough day.
Oh man.
And then I'm back on my diet too. And when you first start that, I think everybody is irritating at first. I'm a little irritated today.
I get it because you're pulling away all the fun stuff that you're eating.
It is. That's exactly what it is. I was. People think I'm stupid bring this up again, but I've been fighting myself not to have a glass of juice, or I've got a little sweet tea left in there. I'm gonna drink it, but just to get rid of it. But man, it's just it's been tough. I mean, it's I lost all that weight, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna gain some of it back. I wish I hadn't now. Now I'm gonna lose it. But it's funny how it just seemed like yesterday that it was such an easy task just to have that, baked chicken and vegetables. And now it's just like, dude, I'm not kidding. It's just potatoes every meal. I'm not kidding. It's weird.
I sort of started my diet today too. And yeah, I made the big pot of potatoes, so I've got mashed potatoes. I've got them set aside so that I can pull out a portion, if I need it. Right.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to get, and I tell everyone I'm doing this too. I'm not never suggested, and I'm not either tell anyone to diet or work out. Go A to Z, go A, B, C, D to Z, because you're going to burn out. I've already gotten burned out from the diet. I've been doing it for a year now. So, and I know I can do it, and that makes it sort of hard knowing you can do it, But I talked to what's the guy? Tony?
Tom?
Tom. Talked to him and talked to Lori. Lori had a good idea about maybe everyone that's maybe get interested in this weight loss thing or their goals for fitness or whatever. I know a guy here in town is doing a deal where they put it like $25 in, and then whoever wins gets the money. I was telling her about that. She said, well, we ought to do it. And she heard us talking about the pop top over at church, the food bags we hand out. And she said, we ought to, get everybody to take the money and send it over there. I was talking to you a little bit about it earlier, and I thought, well, I've tried this before. Maybe we could try it again. Just have a better game plan. I've got some of these used pictures I got. If somebody was, sorry, again.
Okay. There we
if
go.
they're interested, we could send someone, send one out autographed. We could even personalize it, and I can sign them here on podcast nights and send them out the next day to people for $25 or something like that. So I think we might try to do that.
That's a great idea.
Go ahead.
Oh no, please go ahead, Sid.
This last time we did it with just it was just what it was, I know what it was. I was having people send the Viennas to the church. It sort of got complicated. So I think the way we would do it, and I'm not saying anybody to do anything right now, but I was talking to Drew Woodruff about it, and we would send it, if they want to make a money order or a check out to St. Mary's Cathedral, and at the bottom you just put discretionary funds for Drew Woodruff, and that's where it would go to, or I'll talk to him about it again. It's funny when I talked to him, he never turns down when I try to give him a little money, but he never asked for anything. And I'll bring this up there. I'm going to try to do this. He's never pushing me. It's like he just smiles as, wherever he gets, he's happy with, so anything we could get would be great.
That would be good. I like this idea. We'll nail it all down and get it all rolled out for him.
Right.
Andy messaged in. He said, hi, I'm at work, Sid. For the love of all that's good and holy, please mercy powerbomb me out of my misery.
I hate work too, Andy.
Yep. And Brad says, hey, hi, Sid and Rob. Glad to be back home from San Diego. Apparently someone was traveling.
All right.
And then I saw Val. Hey, guys, congrats to the Tide on winning the championship Monday. Roll, Tide, roll.
Go, Val. You right.
Tim said the same thing. Tide all the way.
Yeah. I said Alabama. See, I've won the national championship, World Series, the basketball playoffs. I just got to win the World Series. I mean, the Super Bowl. I've got the whole deal, man. Kansas City. Well, I'm a little worried right now. Kansas City's playing a team that really could upset them in the Cleveland Browns. And I don't follow the NFL a lot, but they're doing really good right now.
Well, see, I don't follow the NFL a lot, and you saying the Cleveland Browns are winning just doesn't seem right.
I know, man, but they're doing really good right now. They've got 2 really good running backs, and they've got a really good quarterback, a couple good receivers, and a pretty good defense. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it'll be a good game. Them and the who else are they playing? They're playing
the Browns.
The Browns. The Browns are playing.
Stuart even says, "Go Browns."
Yeah.
I got 2 comments here real quick before we bring on our guest. Joe Beck said, it's a great cause, and Sid is a man of his word. It's worth it, guys. Talking about the charity. Yeah. And it looks like CC says, they do say if you put money on it, you tend to be more successful. I just wanted to say I adore that Sid is driven to help folks through his church. So many of us now, even more than usual, are down on our luck, but we can all do something to help someone. I love that this is being championed and pushed forward. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I love that phrase.
Yeah, and that's good. The thing is there's this guy named Wayne Dyer. He does motivational speeches. I saw him on PBS one time, and they say he's the third most spiritual influence in the country. Even second, I think, only to the Dalai Lama. It's sort of weird, but he's got a simple message, and he doesn't really talk about God much. He says about it at first, and that's it. Where he refers to God as the source. It's like a globe in the middle of the stage, glowing. And he says the source is God, and the only way we can get close to the source is do good things. And the only difference between good and God is 1 O. And that's how simple religion should be, right?
I love that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now, he's a pretty cool cat that if you get a chance to see him one of his shows, I advise someone to watch it. It's pretty cool. He's got a lot of cool stories. But that right there, if we just do something like that gentleman, I was telling you a story about the homeless guy gave $3 the other day. You can tell he didn't have but about $5, but he gave a couple that he had. And I'm telling you, man, it is tough out there. I think we if we don't get out there, like, I enjoy doing this little thing I do with the church, but if we're not out there, we don't see it,
Yeah.
We don't see it. We don't have to know about it, and we don't have to contribute. When you see it and you're part of it, it just, again, it's just
that
tough.
whole out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Exactly.
Excellent. Well, let's bring our guest on, because he's been waiting in the wings now. But he is one of our participants. I'm not going to say contestant. One of our participants for the challenge. And here is Tom.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tom. How's it going tonight?
Going good. How you doing?
Now, what is your goal, Tom? What is your goal in fitness this year?
Pretty much get in the best shape of my possible, lean out, and be a positive influence on someone else who's struggling.
What is your what are you're trying to lose weight or gain weight? Because everybody's got different goals in fitness.
I'm just trying to lean out, lose a lot of like body fat and body weight, and just cut down a little bit, look leaner.
Well, now, did you say you were 40?
No, I'm 35.
35. Okay. That's a realistic goal for someone. And I'm not trying to discourage you, but at 35, your goal should be to be as fit as you can be. You know what I mean? And if you're not saying, if your goals in life aren't to be a professional bodybuilder or something that you have to really do all these things like high protein diets and stuff like that, I wouldn't suggest anybody do it. It's tough on your body. And again, unless it's your hobby and it's your passion, then I'll agree with you doing it. But I wouldn't do it to myself again unless I was back in the wrestling business. I'd want to be, but my goal is like you, Tom. I just want to be fit. And I want to be the best fit I could be in this next year. And I believe this is you can't do, and I just did the weight loss without exercise. So I was waiting around for that hernia surgery. But I don't ever tell people you need to do both because you can lose weight much faster than you can tone up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I was telling Lloyd today, in fitness, and people hate to hear this, it's a numbers game. Meaning, sort of say, so for instance, if your goal is to get fit, it's going to say let's just make up stupid numbers. Say 20,000 hours in the gym or 20,000 repetitions for abs or 20, 6 months of dieting, before you really see the results. You know what I'm talking?
Yes.
And then 2, you always want to give yourself something like that. I'd say give yourself 6 months or a year. What are you thinking your goal is to try to, how long you want to try to?
Well, with the gyms in Canada being shut down, I'm doing a lot of stuff at home and outside. So my goals, the timeline differs. So if I was in the gym, I would have said 3 to 6 months. At home, I'm going to say anywhere from 4 to 8 months, depending on when the gym's open again.
This is what I find out, Tom. When I started this diet myself, I knew I could get down to 260 pretty easy because I'd done it before a few years back in a bodybuilding contest. I actually got down to 240 for the weight. Then the next day I was back 260 because I've taking in fluids. But I knew I could get to 250. So I swore I shot myself for it. I ended up getting down to 238. But this is what I found out is when we make those, that was 40, I was 290. So I lost 52 pounds?
Ooh, it's impressive.
Right, so when you're doing that, your body can't tone up as fast as you can lose weight. Yeah. So that's what I learned this time around. So that's why I'm back, back in the gym. And when I'm able to post a picture, you'll see that I'm wearing my mask. But I just started my ab workout. I just started back in abs, doing abs. Right now, and I keep abs simple. Flat crunches, side bends, and twists because we want our abs to come in, right? We don't want to make our abs, we got to realize it's a muscle. It's a large muscle too. And everything we do, we do, curls, we're teaching our stomach to protrude outward. When we're doing leg presses, we're teaching our stomach to protrude outward. Everything we're doing is do that. So when we do our ab work, we want to concentrate on trying to make our abs flat. So flat crunches, not a lot of bending, just a flat part, and then side bends. And when you do your side bends or your twist, you want to flatten your abs doing them at the same time too, because that will teach that muscle to be flat. You know what I mean? Because everything else we do, squats, leg press, everything else, we're teaching the muscle to protrude outwards. So now, knowing that that's part of your goal is the fitness, and that it's going to take a tremendous amount of ab work, right?
Yes.
You want that, your waist to come in because your back's out there. So, man, keep it easy. Like I was, I'm telling everybody the same thing. So, maybe start. You don't want to get burned out on things too, Tom. So, and you don't, like, for instance, I did abs the other day and I did them on a machine. That way I don't have to lay on the ground. Pretty much I was just doing the crunch part and I was doing real slow, not fast. And I really didn't think I did that much, but today I'm really sore from it. Now, I didn't not do them today, but if you don't want to be so sore on something that you don't want to do it the next day,
Exactly.
you know, 'cause that's saying you overdid it, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
When I do abs in the gym, I use the machine also, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And you can take it easy and do as many as your body allows you.
Right.
When like I've done anywhere from 150 in a row to 250, and then the next day I was like, oh my god. But I take it easy, I take it slow, and everything is in slow and steady. You know.
Yep.
Well, this is how I always start my ab workouts. You know, the first day, and I'll tell people this: do 3 sets of 25 crunches, 3 sets of 25 side bends, and 3 sets of 25, and then let those numbers of let that number of 25 go to 50.
Mhm.
I have gotten to where 250 per set, and do 3 sets.
Yep.
And what I normally do, I listen to my headsets, and I can do about 100 or so or something like that, about every song or so. So
Yeah.
I'm counting them out like that. But it's a numbers game. So if that's what and this is what I think we tell ourselves, that we take advantage of this COVID-19 and really, hunker down on our fitness. You
have to. Yeah.
Well,
you
see,
have
that's
to.
it. Not only are we in the middle of a pandemic, it's the year 2021, which is the year Mad Max took place in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now your Lord Humongous outfit fits perfect.
Exactly.
But because we're in the pandemic, we need to be looking at other motivational movies like Rocky IV, him in Siberia with logs. You can't
Yeah.
get to gyms, that's what we got to do.
That's why I'm
Well,
doing
this
stuff
is the
outside.
thing is, I'm glad you brought that back up, Rob, because that's something Lori and everyone I've talked to, they're the same thing. They have no place to go, and then Lori's situation, he's just where she lives in the country is very far for her to get to places, and some people just don't want to go to the gyms. I myself like going to a gym, but we have to find things we could do at home. Like I was telling her, she's got a place that she can do some steps. Well, when you get to the top of those steps, I feel like this, and this is just me saying, this isn't a fact. If I extend a set, I mean, if I made it longer, to me it becomes a quality set. So like if I'm say doing leg press, and then all of a sudden I go to to exhaustion on that, then I get up off of that, then I'll sit there and say do some free squats just to get more blood in there.
Yes. 100%.
That's what and I extended that set. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or if you get someone to pull the weight off of you, the step becomes extended. Now, if
Drop
people
sets,
extend sets or a drop set, that automatically becomes a quality set because you extended it, you dropped it, went farther, stuff like that. So that's how we can do things, at home. Like if you're walking or whatever, just all of a sudden stop it. Me and Robert doing this. He was doing around his neighborhood, just doing carryovers, squats, standing on one leg for 10 seconds,
I swear I had people gathering at Tim Hortons. They knew I was coming through and they want it's hilarious. Victor mentioned, he goes, yep, it's the year of Lord Humongous.
I would love to see Sid have his Lord Humongous mascot in the gym and see what people think.
Yeah, I know.
There we go. But see, Tom is already a positive influence. His girlfriend Pam said, Tom helps me work out and teaches me how to use the weights properly. Thanks, hot stuff. Pam,
all right.
Should you really be talking about Sid like that in front of Tom?
I know, right? She
Just
warned
saying.
me that was going to happen.
Dean, our buddy from Isle of Man here, said, Sid, I do a lot of cardio. What kind of cardio did you have to do in your prime as a wrestler? Did the big guys have to do as much as the smaller guys?
Well, it really doesn't matter how big you are, but I always did tons of cardio. I mean, minimum in the gym was an hour of Stairmaster. Now I preferred, if I was at home, I'd run real bleachers, and that's I never got tired. I never got blowed up maybe once or twice in my whole life in the ring because I was in always really good shape. But bleacher running is the best thing there is. And the people I've met, Walter Payton, Jerry Rice, I met these guys. I said, what made you so good? And they all said the same thing. I ran uphill. And when we run uphill, it makes us it forces us to recover while we're taxing ourselves at the most. and that's carrying true weight uphill. All right.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about running bleachers too, you're not going to be able to do that long enough to where your heart rate gets high enough to where you burn muscle mass. You're only going to burn body fat, and you're going to promote lean muscle mass. Example, you look at sprinters. They look like bodybuilders, but after that 100 yards, they get really skinny. So
it almost seems like when you go uphill too, you're fighting gravity, because I always think about it when you're
Exactly.
going downhill, gravity's pulling you.
right.
So you've got.
Well, that's what it is now. See, now remember I've told you before, Rob, when the difference between walking and running. When you're walking, you're carrying the true weight. Like right now, I'm at 260, so I'm carrying 260. But if I start jogging a little bit, that 260 goes to 240. If I run a little faster, then it goes to 220. You know what I mean? So then my heart rate's up. Now I'm burning lean muscle mass. I'm not burning body fat. That's why joggers look so pathetic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. So
Sprints, carryovers. Now I might do sometimes like I do 60 bleachers and then do 2 miles of agility drills. Do 100 yards one way and do 100 yards the other way, and walk the corners. So I was out to the track sometimes 2 or 3 hours, doing bleachers and foot drills.
yeah.
Well, Danilo even commented. He goes, "One of the most impressive things I've seen Sid do is the kip up. Never seen any other big man do it. Not Hogan, not Nash, not Taker, only Sid." And it's true. I'm 5'9", and when I was training, I couldn't do a kip up to save my life.
Well,
I
I'm learning
used
that,
to do
believe it or not, when I box Golden Gloves. The thing about a real good Golden Gloves program, excuse me, I'm stopped up. You're going to have to do some gymnastics. I don't know why they think that's a big deal, but that's the very first thing you go through in a Golden Gloves program. And that's why I learned that.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's our buddy Kyle from Wisconsin. He says, "Robin, Sid, glad to be your friend from Kyle from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I would give $50 for an autographed picture from you, Sid." So we got someone.
Right.
Right on.
Do you know
All
what?
right, man.
Do me a favor and send an email to info@viciouscirclepod.com. I'm going to throw that address up. That one there. Send an email to us. I got an idea.
Right.
I'll do the same thing.
So for right now, we have 5 people in this challenge. I got
Right.
their names on the screen. There's Tom C., who we have the privilege of sitting here.
Mhm.
Andrew C., who we haven't talked to yet. Lori, who you did talk to. Rondell, and we haven't talked to him yet. And then Nathan F. And Nathan and Andrew C. are both from England area.
Okay. Now, I told you I thought Rondell was going to be a part of it.
Yep, he did sign up. So
Oh, good. Now, all right. So is everybody's goal the same? Just weight loss?
I have Andrew C.'s goal. That's it. So I know you talked to Lori, so I'm hoping she told you her goal.
No, hers is losing weight.
Yeah.
And I think everybody else is too. Because that's what I would think everybody would want to do at this part. Now, but if someone's goal is to put on weight, I can, make suggestions for that as well. Help you with a diet to do that too.
It looks like both Nathan and Andrew are weight loss.
Okay.
So yeah, Nathan wants to get down to 185. So he said lose about 30 pounds. Andrew. And Nathan said he wants to go from 102 kilograms. Wait a second. Oh, he went from 102 to 126 kilograms. So he's trying to lose that weight.
Gotcha. We'll talk all night about it, but this is the thing about diet, guys, and I'm experiencing a little bit myself today. When we start dieting, let's don't again go A to Z. Let's take one thing out at a time. We're not in a hurry to do this. We're January whatever. What is today?
The 14th.
14th, right?
Yeah.
So we'll try to today is Thursday.
Yes.
Hopefully Sunday we'll have a game plan to where we're going to get everybody's weight down and get everybody started on the same day. But everybody's gearing up. I know Lori texted me her information, what her weight was, and so we'll do the same thing. Now she actually did it pretty fair. She showed herself weighing on a scale and showed the scale what it weighed. So
That's a good idea.
if we could get, and I think we can always take everyone's word for this because it's for charity anyway.
Yeah.
And it's for fun. so that's what we'll do. Again, if anybody does want to learn how or needs helpful hints or any advice or gaining weight, I'll be glad to help that as well.
Perfect. Pam's trying to lose weight too, she said. Well, she can piggyback on Tom there. And that'll help him lose weight.
She doesn't like the fact that I help her in the gym. She says that I'm mean. I said I have to be mean in order for it to work.
Well, I think I come across like that sometimes too, because I'm just trying to help people.
Exactly.
When I see somebody really working hard, that's the person I'll help, and usually it's an older woman. That's the people I see working the hardest. But I'll give anyone a little bit of advice. But nowadays, people don't want advice. There's no criticism on Planet Fitness.
Pam says, I hate him in the gym. He is my enemy.
That's a good thing, though. That's good. But she is very dedicated. When she's in the gym, she pushes. And then when she's done, she'll go do cardio for 45 minutes to an hour.
That's
while I
good.
finish up in the heavy weights and stuff. But she's doing really good.
Well, if she wants some help with diet, we'll be glad to help her too. Main thing about diet, again, too, real quick, is that we pull one thing out at a time that we know is bad. And diet, I was telling everybody I've talked to, so diet is really pretty simple. Tom, do you know? A lot of people don't even know this. I don't know if you know this. We have trying to think of the word. It's a synthetic something.
I know what you're saying.
It's pretty much what it is this. It's a battery we have in our system.
Yes.
And when that battery is charged, we can't lose weight. And what charges that battery, Tom?
Fuel.
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates, fuel, yeah.
It's the only thing that does that. So when that battery is charged, we're not losing weight. And the only way we get that battery discharged is go, say, 6, 8, 10 hours. Where you can look it up yourselves. And then we start losing weight. And that's why high protein diets are so effective. Because this is what happens. When we take in protein, our body says, doesn't make it really a decision at all. It says, I'm going to use protein to make your hair grow, your fingernails heal over a scratch. That's how we get bigger muscles. We tear it down by working out. And as we sleep, proteins mask over those tears, and then the muscle becomes bigger. And that's the hardest thing to do in the world. Is to produce 1 pound of lean muscle. So that's how muscles develop, right?
Yes.
So, I forgot where I was going with that.
You're talking about carbohydrates.
Right. So, all right. So now, when that carbohydrate doesn't have to wait till it gets in your stomach either, the digestive process starts as soon as it touches your tongue. So people think they can eat, throw it up. That battery's charged, and that's why they say it really don't do any good to do that. Throw up and eat, throw up, because now you're still anything you take in, your body's still not burning body fat. Exactly. So to get into that, and there's always a place you go look. It's called psychosis, that keto diet where you get into ketosis, right? And that's really what that is. Your battery's decharged, and now you're burning body fat. But we have to have some carbs to survive.
We have to.
Now, when you look at my meals, and I'll start posting again. I mean, it's a chicken quarter pretty much, serving of peas, some cabbage, and usually a little rice. So that's a well balanced meal. So I'm not by no means starving myself to death. I'm just eating really good. But I can eat that comfortably 4 times a day and still lose weight really fast.
We talked about this yesterday about how we pretty much eat almost the same thing.
Right.
And we were talking about the diet, and I'm feeling it too, man. Like, you're taking stuff out of the diet and you feel sluggish and you don't want to do it, but you have to get over that hurdle to keep progressing.
Well, this is what I was telling Lloyd, and I'm glad you brought it up. Tell her on the podcast. This is what we don't realize sometimes. Diet, to me, I tell her, you can look at this like I was taught this in the gym. You can look at working out 2 different ways. You can approach it like an offensive lineman, slow, methodical, and not really loud and aggressive, or you can be like a defensive player and just balls to the wall and every set's to failure and get out of my way and blah, blah, blah. But you can use aggression to work for you, right? Sometimes. Yes. So you can either do that and diet. And I sort of did that today, where I tell everybody my struggle is just my things I drink. It'll be sweet tea or Sprite or whatever. So today I really got a victory because I've had nothing but water all day. So that To me,
Me too.
I won. So I learned this as a kid growing up in sports. Being tall, I was always like a late bloomer. I wasn't always like the greatest guy on the team like the first year, but my second year I was. And once you learn how to win, it becomes fun.
Yes. Yes.
So same thing with diet and going to the gym. Once it becomes fun or you start losing that weight, say that's what I would tell everybody too. There's a gym I used to go to, it's called MBS. It was real goal oriented and stood for no bullshit. And everybody in there had their name on the board, what they weighed, what the bench was, blah, blah, blah. But there was a little girl in there, not a little girl, she was young, but she reminded me of Lori, about the same body type and everything like that. And she told me, hey, today I think she said a PR, and it was a personal record or personal best.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to tell people. Say I think Lori said she wanted to get down to 180. Two things. One, I started losing this weight. I'd have people say, well, I think you lost enough weight. How much more are you going to lose? Well, I'm not going to stop losing weight till I lose it all. I mean, why would I lose half my body fat? That doesn't make sense.
I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you lost enough weight. No, people are saying that because they're jealous because they can't lose the weight. I mean, really, that's really what it is. And sometimes they feel bad for you if it's your grandmother or something. Go, oh, I'd like to see you eat something, son. Blah, blah, blah. But no, they're saying it because they can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
And it's usually that's the way it is. But no, take one thing out at a time.
Yep.
And then like today, I'm not noticing it. And I really feel now I'm on that skid back towards, getting right back where I need to be. And again, I'm just really my first week into my diet, so I'm already making big changes to where I feel like I won today. And and I tell people this too, we don't want bad memories, especially in the gym or even it's just your own personal workout. If you're walking around, again, I always try to leave the gym with a positive something. I don't
always
never miss a weight. I'm not going to miss a max or something like that, or I don't do max anymore. But I'm not going to. I'm going to have a good sweat. I'm going to have a good memory. And I'm not going to be so sore anymore that I can't go back the next day.
Yeah.
I got a message from Lori on here. She goes, hey guys, today was my first day counting calories thanks to Sid's recommendation. And I must say I was shocked with how much I was eating. I really believe accountability like this is key to success.
Right on.
It is. And that's what this whole thing's about. I told her and I've told everybody, there's a guy in Memphis named George Flynn, a doctor, and he has a show, cable show, and he does the same thing, just reaches out to help people that might need that little bit of push to get going. And that's what we can do. This is a great time to do it too.
Pam has a comment here. Sid, I know you have protein shakes and drink water. Do you drink diet pop or juices? Because it was this one here. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm trying to stop drinking Diet Pepsi and only drink water, but it's hard.
That's that's what I've been talking about, Pam. Is for me it's Sprite I used to be sweet tea, and it's back to sweet tea, and I don't know how. Well, I know how I got to that. I started drinking again, but that's my problem. I can't. Today was my first day of just water, and if I did just water, I probably never would have to diet. I mean, really, when I just take the drinks out of my diet, my weight just drops right off. Yeah. But no, I heard this one day on a like a medical journal. They were talking. There was a doctor. I can't remember her name, but she said, if you have to drink something like a soda, be a diet soda, and it should be a clear liquid, nothing dark. And then, really, she said, just drink water. Mm-hmm. That's what she said, pretty much.
Thanks to Joe Tong, though, we do know Sid's one weekness, and that is fruit juice. And he had none today. None.
Yeah, I know that. He likes his fruit juice.
Man, the thing is, I've always liked, grape juice or, now I'm at the Minute Maid fruit juice, but it's berry juice, but it's just, and it's weird. I tell people it'll be like a Friday and I'll be sitting there and I'll have this water. I'll go, well, it's 12 o'clock and it's Friday and I've made it to 12. Man, I think I'm getting heartburn. Man, this water, I'm getting heartburn. I need juice. And I'll get my juice and I'll take that drink and go, what? How did I talk myself into that?
Yeah.
I didn't have heartburn.
With me, it's like, oh, look, it's time. I have to have my pop. Victor's got an idea though. With just water, add a lemon. You know.
Yeah, but this is the thing about that. When you're dieting, that lemon is a carbohydrate.
Oh,
As soon as it touches your tongue, that battery's charged.
okay. Scratch
Now,
that.
see, that's the deal. Is I said diet's real simple, but that's where diet gets complicated because there are certain things you just if you're really trying to cut corners. Say, for instance, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this where people understand it. So if this is a meter and I'm trying to get it to go that way, if I pull one string or one rope, it's hard. But then if I start attaching more strings, it gets pulled over. I mean, if I diet, take out the lemon, no sodas, eat vegetables, then what I've said before, those are one little thing, one change at a time is called a micro turn. You make a bunch of micro turns, then you're making what I call, and I made this up myself, it's called a learning curve.
Yes.
From a micro turn. And I just made that up one time thinking about that. But when you add a lot of positive things to your fitness, your goal, that's how you get there faster.
Where was it? There's other motivations too, which I'm just seeing. Because Philip said one of the best physiques in wrestling, and you gave him tons of motivation in the gym. Sometimes that can help.
No, it does. Now I have, and I'm not bragging. I've had Jeff Arthur from Atlanta, the president of your fan club. We haven't heard from him lately.
Yeah.
He called me one time, and after we got off the phone, he went back to the gym, changed his whole life. So I have had that effect on a few people, and I talk to Jeff all the time. Matter of fact, he just purchased himself a bunch of brand new equipment for his house because he's scared to go to the gym because of COVID right now.
Yeah. Paul said, saw an ad that Sid is doing a signing tomorrow. Is that here? No, that's not here. That is actually at a site, and here is the website, signedbysuperstars.com, and that is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that up one more time. Here is the site that you can go to, and it's all right there. And you got to take off bright and early in the morning for that, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you're always up at the crack of dawn anyway, so.
Yeah. I was at the gym the other morning at 4 o'clock. I was trying to beat this guy because he was already up there. But he leaves about 5 o'clock.
Here's Cheryl. She says, one small change I made this week was cutting out fried foods, which is very hard for me.
Well, that's what I went to. Remember, Rob, I was frying chicken or pork chops every other day, because I just felt like doing it. But that's why it is hard now because I've got used to all that horrible grease taste, for a while. I mean, just the taste of that bean and the cabbage and the baked chicken, man, I was looking forward to that. Man, I had that the other day and I couldn't give that to my dogs fast enough. I'm like, kid, those dogs are like, make more chicken, man.
Pam has a good question. She goes, Sid, for juice, is it grape juice or is it wine, Sid?
No, it's grape juice. Now, I used to like a little wine. I like a port wine. It's a real sweet wine, but it's real high in alcohol. So if I have a glass of wine, it's a glass of port. But I haven't had I started to get some for. I was at the drugstore today, and I just didn't. I have a glass of wine now. It's okay, but 2 glasses, I've got a hangover before I go to bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, man. I'm already getting a headache, and I'm going, nah. Alcohol, I just never have been a big drinker.
I'm saying I don't drink. So honestly, I start smelling alcohol. I start feeling my head spin.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, really 1 glass of port wine, and I've got a buzz. And 2 glasses, and I've got a hangover.
So hear that? Sid's a cheap date.
Yeah.
There you go, Pam. Now you know, Pam. Go ahead.
Dan asks, Sid had some of the best traps in the biz. What are 2 good trap exercises?
Power cleans and proper upright rows. When people do an upright row, a lot of times they just do what's called a high pull, and high pull is really just working biceps. And when you do an upright row, you bring it up here and you row it out. When you row it out, that makes your traps get involved, and that'll actually tie your traps into your front delt. And I always had pretty good delts too. But really, power cleans are the only thing that ever made my traps sore.
Dale here. He's good luck, guys. Hope it goes well. I enjoy my food and drink too much to commit to diet. Hope it goes well.
Good luck. Good for you.
Well, at least he's there.
So,
And
yeah.
this is true. Never. He goes, as a kid, totally scared shitless of him. I never thought Sid would make such an awesome life coach.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you there. When I was
yeah.
15, he scared the hell out of me.
Well, can you honestly say, oh, you're getting advice from who? Sid Vicious. Oh, the guy that used to cheat in wrestling? Yeah, that's the guy.
The guy who was the master in the world who wanted to kill everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe's got it. He goes, yeah, just get calf implants like Buff Bagwell.
Yeah. He loves Buff Bagwell.
Uh,
Joe's like married to Buff.
yeah.
That's all he ever. Every time he calls, he goes, "Yeah, I like Buff. I went and saw Buff the other day, and now I called Buff, and man, Buff's a really good guy.
What is your take on Buff?
He's a good guy. He's just goofball, you know. The only time I had to really, he's just a nice guy, but just not. I don't know. Maybe the new generation type of wrestler. I remember one time I had to say something to him. I just came back and to WCW from leaving the WWF, and I'd been off a little bit. So this is the only time I ever got blowed up. I was working with Eric Watts, and he had the STF on me, and then I got out of that in the power bombing 1, 2, 3. Well, then I walked back to the back, and because I was blowed up, I mean, really, to the point I really couldn't breathe. And so I got back to the back, and I remember Buff goes, "Hey, man, maybe he had that STF on you. Maybe when you're coming back to the back, maybe you could have sold your back or whatever you're supposed to sell." I said, "Buff, there's one thing I don't need, and that's any goddamn advice from you. And don't ever give me any more. Understand?"
Yeah.
And that was that. But no, he nice guy and probably means really well.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do anything malicious or bad to anyone.
That's awesome.
That's
Sean
awesome.
here has got a comment. He goes, "Hi, Sid and Rob, from Sean from London. On the fitness trail, lots of chicken, and tonight a 3-mile run. Feeling good. Hope you feel better soon, Sid." Sean from London.
Way to go, man.
That's all it is. It's just little steps.
It is a step at a time. And then before you know it, you can reach out, have like 2 or 3 days of just total perfect,
Yeah.
And then when those days start rolling in, that's when everything starts falling in place.
Stuart's got a question for you. Sid, how many black leather vests have you invested in over your career?
2.
Two. Wow. Do you still have it?
Yep.
Wow.
I thought for sure you would have lost 1 or 2 of them along the way.
No, I had one that was the original one that I wore. It wasn't really a nice one that my wife got for me from Sears and Roebuck. Then the first good one I bought from the Harley Davidson was to match Danny Spivey, and then I got one other since then. So I think I've got 2.
Nice.
I've got a couple that I used with a buddy of mine up in Montreal, Carl, where we had blue jean ones that matched. So I got a couple of those.
Canadian tuxedo.
There you go.
Yes. Gary's got a question. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble, Sid? I guess he's from the Isle of Man too. Nice.
Sid,
The thing is, I don't watch enough of the wrestling to be able to call something like that anymore. I really don't. I'll tell you what I do. Since we're talking about wrestling, remember I think I said the other day that I didn't like the finish with Jack Hager.
Yeah.
All right. Thing about this is, they did something last night, and it might be tipping their hand what they're trying to do. It might be where they're fixing to put the belt on Jack Hager, because in his interview last night he kept saying goals were to be world champion. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then they panned back to him and wore low a couple times. So I wonder if there's going to be something there like that. And again, I don't think it was good still to beat him. But if they okay, we're going to maybe have Warlord put that belt on him or something like that. If they do that, I can see that's why they did that. But you still don't do that.
Yeah.
But I can see that maybe happening. I thought about this today too after watching the show last night. It might be, if they played their cards right, one time around, that Jake Slater, what his name is, and that other guy has got the mohawk. with Jake Roberts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know you got about.
I don't watch it enough to know their names either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know who he is. Yeah,
Yeah. It's Jay. No.
Lance Archer.
Lance
something like
Armstrong.
Archer.
Yeah, Lance Archer. Yeah. Now, I think they could have for the first, like almost a big man match.
Yes.
If they play it right there. And they've actually, AEW's got a few big guys. Now, I was watching both shows a little bit last night. One thing I don't understand about NXT is, man, it looks like a bunch of 90-year-old guys out there for the most part. Now, they're all in pretty good shape, but they look really old. I noticed that last night. And
I don't watch it, so
I don't know if it was just me. But again, no, if they do that, I think that would be good for them. But you know what's going to help? I think what's going to hurt AEW guys is the owners fix put all their money and time into the football team. That's hired that Urban Myers today. So if that thing doesn't start making money, I don't see it sticking around very long.
Jamie says, I think it will stink because of not having fans there live. And we've talked about that.
Yeah. Well, that's something too. It's like what they did last night at the end with Sting and that match they had, the main event last night. Without the fans, that standing out there like that doing a Sting, it just doesn't work. It's boring. It looks dumb.
The cheering,
Right. Or think of something else. I know you're there all day long. You can just think of just standing there.
But see, remember, Sting just came back, so he's not used to COVID wrestling.
Yeah,
right.
He's back with you. Like he's in that crowd wrestling.
Right, I know.
Danilo said, "I think Sid was better as a heel, like that Psycho Sid character, and it fits him well with his look, promo style, and the way he beats his opponents into the ring." Well, yeah,
I agree.
Well, I've always told people I only enjoyed being a heel. I didn't like the babyface thing. It's just it just wasn't natural for me. And it's so much easier being a heel. And then I like being the dictator.
Mm-hmm. It was one that I saw. I'm just trying to find again. And people remember too, if I don't post your question, please just post it again because I'll make sure to get it up. Scott, he said, how's it going, brother? I'm on day 12 of quitting and I'm doing better. And when you say quitting, I'm thinking cigarettes.
Okay, good.
Is that what you're talking about, Scott? Because that's great.
I think that's what that is.
I have a friend of mine, Rochelle, and one day she just said, you know what? I think I'm going to quit smoking. And she marked it on Facebook. And then she waited a week and she marked it again. And then she got to a month and she marked it and she could keep looking back.
Good for her. Good for her.
Well, I smoked for a couple of years as a kid because at one time I was a big beer drinker. And that was hard, man, quitting. I tried to cut back and this and that. And finally I just said, you know what? Only way you're going to quit is quit. And I did it. And I can't believe I did smoke, but I did smoke for a couple of years as a kid.
Wow.
Well, I think everybody experiments.
Yeah.
I know even I did. I took a puff off a cigarette twice. I took a puff off a cigarette. I hacked up a lung. And then I took another puff off just to be sure.
You do it
and
again.
the other one,
Misery loves company.
Yep. Aaron's got a question for you. He goes, something I've always wondered about Sid. Is there a story around the body glove elbow pad he's worn for years?
Well, I tore my bicep and I had that scar there. And I was a little embarrassed of it, so I always wore it to hide that scar.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, because you've had quite a few surgeries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about that too. A lot of the stuff that comes up, we've done in the previous podcast too. So people, if you get a chance, electronicmediacollective.com, you can see the whole library of stuff.
I plan on doing that in the near future.
Let me see here. Kurt's got a question. Watch Sid versus Taker earlier and the whining Bret Hart getting power bombed straight to hell. I loved it. Hated you lost the belt, Sid.
It's all right.
Oh, and Brad here. I quit for 7 months after I had a stent and then started back and ready to stop again.
There's a guy I know, he helps me with my pull. His name's Dan. He's had a couple stents put in and he's down the road here working on a pull. And I stopped by to talk to him and I noticed he don't smoke all the time, but he lit up a cigarette. And I thought, man, what? He goes, I just smoke one once in a while. I smoke one. And I thought, dude, you just had you just told me you had stents put in. Don't do that.
Mhm.
You know. Then a good buddy of mine, Ron Rage, he's probably listening to us tonight. He had open heart surgery,
Oh, wow.
a quadruple bypass. And I went to see him. Of course, we had our mask on thing. He blacked out, fell down because he got up too fast. First thing he did is reach for a cigarette. I said, Ron, you got to be shitting me.
What's wrong with people?
What are you doing?
Oh
He
my
ended up back
God.
at the hospital. So I hope he's quit.
I had people like that in my family. They would sit there and cough and cough and cough. And then they would sit down, they'd light up a cigarette. It's like, were you not here 5 seconds ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you say anything, they get mad at you.
Yep. Victor here said, thanks for the Signed by Superstars link. Not a problem. Like I said, that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if you want to check that out, you know where it is now. I did see one more here. Oh, here it is. Justin has a question. You were doing the Cobra Clutch Slam as a finish for a little bit. Were you tired of doing the power bomb at that point, trying to change it up?
I was trying. I did that Cobra Clutch Slam as Lord Humongous and Continental. They wanted me to just do the Cobra Clutch, so I sort of did my own version of it. I picked the guys up just a little bit and just give them a real flat, flat bump like that. Looked really devastating. Made it a little different, just the sleeper, I thought, So I did that. And so then when I was able to go to the power bomb, when Eddie Gilbert was the booker, I went to it and I went away from it. So then when I got to WCW, I started using it because I thought it looked pretty good.
I think you have the best powerbomb ever.
And where was it here? Oh, Jamie here said, I quit nicotine in 2009 and haven't looked back.
That's
Good
awesome.
job.
That's great.
Good job, man.
And I'll get one more here. Justin says, also, congrats, Sid. I heard you have a new figure coming out soon in the WWE Elite Series.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
Thanks, Justin.
That's awesome. I'm getting it for sure.
There we go. CC has a question. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. Care to share a favorite Roddy Piper story?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Did you ever work with Piper?
Yeah, I did. Actually, it was me and Flair that had some tag matches with Hogan and Piper.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
92.
pretty good little matches. Let's see, any stories about Roddy Piper? He was always, just so flamboyant everywhere we went. But I remember the last time I saw him, it's sort of funny. I shouldn't say this, but it was in New Orleans. It was at WrestleCon at the autograph signing that wasn't, the WWE's, and it's just an independent, glorified autograph signing. And I'm not knocking it, but it's the biggest one, but it's not WWE thing, right? So we're all just there, do our autographs, and there's not that many people there. All of a sudden, here comes this Scottish band of pipes and flutes and everything. And this Piper coming into it. I said, "You got to be shitting me!" He was like that. He always wanted the grand entrance and stuff like that,
Nice. I love those pipes. I got to
Oh,
admit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You hear those pipes kick in? Yeah. All right. One last question here. Philip has one. Was HBK jealous that you were getting all of the crowd cheers at the 96 Survivor Series? Even though he was the babyface, you were really over that night.
Honestly, he never let on like that. No, I've always, people ask me about Sean was always giving to me. He always gave himself to me, always came up, when I say that, I mean, he came up with spots that made me, I wouldn't have to say, all right, I'm going to do a nip up and clothesline you or catch you with a choke slam. He would call that. He said, "Won't you do your nip up and get me in the corner, kick me around, blah, blah, blah." And so he was really giving like that. And then Sean, I think I can say this. We were brought in the same time in the business where we weren't old school. We were the transition when things were turning new, not like they are now. And to me, he's like me too. Like, he didn't take it seriously like some people did. Now, I tell you who hated the people that booed him was Goldberg. I remember working with him. Just a handful of people would be booing him, and man, he really be cussing them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, man, this guy's really. That's the difference, of Sean and someone like Goldberg.
Nice. And here we go. CC said, yes, it's pronounced CC. Laugh out loud. And thank you for sharing. Roddy was an awesome soul.
He is, man.
Excellent. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you guys so much for having me.
can't wait to see how this challenge goes.
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Well, then just get back in touch with us, Tom, and we'll
I
see.
will keep in touch with you guys for sure.
And I'm probably going to. I think my weight's going to be 260. But I'm going to come in at, and I'm going to be in this contest too. So
there you go.
You guys going to have to beat me on this thing.
So does the loser get power bombed?
Yeah.
Can I ask one question for you though?
Sure.
Sid, do you still keep in touch with like Sean and Brett and all those guys, or do you just say no really?
Not really. The one guy I've talked to probably more than anyone is Bruno Lauer, downtown Bruno.
Okay.
I haven't talked to him in a long time. And I'll talk to Carl Willett up in Montreal once in a while. Me and Carl, if it's probably one person I enjoyed being on the road with the most was him. He did everything I like to do. We worked out. We did, kept our noses clean, kept out of trouble, and just made as much fun as we could be on the road. So I always had a lot of fun with Carl, and I talked to him, a lot. Not a lot, but I call him once in a while.
That's awesome.
Nice. All right, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk
Thank
more
Tom,
soon.
thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate
Thanks for joining
it.
up and we'll let everybody know. Hopefully by Sunday we'll have a somewhat of a game plan for what we're going to try to do for raising some money for this charity.
All right, well, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Rob. Stay safe.
You bet.
You too, Rob.
Good.
You too, Tom.
And now just to remember here, there's our 5 people so far. Tom C, Andrew C, Lori H, Rondell T, Nathan F.
You know what we need to do, Rob? We need to Rondell, and what's the other one? We talked to Tom and Lori. Rondell.
Rondell will talk to you, and I'm going to get a hold of Nathan and Andrew because they're both from.
They're overseas. Okay, so Rondell's the only one we can really talk to right now.
Yep. Oh, and there's Nathan right there. What contest did I miss? Is it a weight loss challenge? Well, it happens to be one you're in, Nathan. So yeah, you better pay attention.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what Rondell's doing now.
I haven't seen his name come up.
I didn't either. That's why I was wondering. Well, just we'll do like we've been doing. We'll get a 3-way going, and then I'll get their contact information, and we'll go from there.
Nathan's excited. So yeah, Nathan and Andrew. I didn't see Andrew's name either, but I'm going to get a hold of you guys about Sunday. So stay on the line, stay on the line.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. There we go. That's better. All right, Sid. Any last words?
No. I don't
Can I
want
interrupt just a second, Sid? Because I always like you to end the show because it's your show.
Sure.
But I wanted to show everybody because everybody's been asking about the podcast T-shirts.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought. I almost forgot that. Yeah,
I almost did too. And I went to go to the extra, like the outro, and I saw the pictures. So it's like, oh yeah.
Show everybody.
Yes. Boom. Here is our official podcast T-shirt. It's looking like they'll be about $20 plus shipping wherever you happen to live. So if you're interested, shoot me an email at info@viciouscirclepod.com. But now, right now, I know everybody's going, but why is it black and white? Because black and white's boring, right? Well, this black and white, when you walk into a dark room, glows in the dark.
Okay.
Right?
That's cool, man.
Yes. So if you're interested, shoot us an email, and I'm going to put that right. Nope. Where'd it go? There. There's the There's the email again.
Right. And really, Rob, I guess I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I saw a little bit of news today. I see where the death toll has really jumped. I guess we had a day in the last few days that it was over 4,000 people. They said, and I saw early this morning, said 90,000 more are going to die just this month. With that, or 92,000. I don't know how they come up with these numbers, but it's just, man, I don't know. I think we're all tired of it, staying cooped up and worried about it. I know I am. And I know as time has gone on, I've gotten relaxed to the point that I've got my mask down sometimes, even at the gym, but I say to myself, oh, I'm 15, 20 feet away. Well, that's not how it works, So I'm being a bad example. And so, but we got to wear a mask right now. We got to stay safe. And we've come this far, this long. Let's not be dumb and get it right now. You know.
Excellent words, Sid. Thanks so much for being here tonight, and good luck tomorrow.
You too, man. Good night, everyone, and see you next this Sunday.
You've been listening to the Vicious Circle podcast. Your host, Sid Udi. Co-host, Rob Bellamy. Additional research by Pete Marsh. The Vicious Circle podcast is produced by Two Cousin Road Trip Productions, a division of JX3 Media Productions. The intro music is Unleash the Giants by Cemetery Spawn, and the outro music is Digging Space by Mike Treblecott.